Merab Dvalishvilli is going to cost his UFC career. What is going on, guys? It's fight season MMA, and today I want to make a video talking about Merab Dvalishvilli's recent post on Instagram, where he just posted a couple weeks prior to his UFC 306 war with Sean O'Malley that he has a massive cut on his face. Now, Merab Dvalishvilli has never challenged for the title. He's been calling for the title for such a long time, and showing a cut on your face is something to let every single person know that, he might have to withdraw for the fight. Dana White was super angry that he posted this this to his Instagram because he made it a way bigger deal than it was supposed to be. As we all know, Merab has been calling out Sean for the longest time, and these two are set to headline UFC 306 at UFC Noche in the Sphere, one of the biggest UFC events of all time. But let's jump right into the video. But first, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That is the best way to help support the channel. And also, please go down there and turn on the post notifications button, just so you guys are always updated and alerted when UFC content posts daily. But let's jump right into the video of Merab Dvalishvilli possibly costing his career. Okay, so like I said, we all know that Merab Dvalishvilli is taking on Sean O'Malley for the UFC bantamweight title at UFC 306 in the Sphere in Las Vegas, which is going to be one of the most expensively, biggest budgeted events in UFC history and one of the greatest events in UFC history since it's taking place in the Las Vegas Sphere. But what else is going on in Merab's career? He was just training the other day with some of his former teammates, or some of his teammates, and he just cut himself right over the eye. And what did he do? He showed Instagram all of these images. The reason that showing Instagram all the images are bad is because other people like Dana White, Hunter Campbell can see these, that Merab Dvalishvilli is already hurt prior to his fight with UFC 306, and there's other ways that he, the organization can pull the fight because he's injured, rather than keeping it on the low. We all know that Shavkat Rakhmonov fought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson on a torn ankle tendon, and he didn't tell any single person that he was there or he was struggling until after the fight, to where he said he had an absolutely destroyed ankle, where he then got surgery right then after, and that's why he's been out for so long. Also, we all know that Merab Dvalishvilli is super hungry to challenge for the title, and doing this is something that is very bad to do. We all know Charles Oliveira pulled out of UFC 294 with a massive cut over his right eye, I believe, versus Islam Makhachev, and that was something that the UFC could not let him do. And once he pulled out of the fight, he then shared it with the entire world about how bad the cut was. Now, Merab was just doing it as a little fun joke, but in reality, like I said, Dana White really needs to take this into account, that Merab Dvalishvilli is possibly injured prior to this fight. They might need to get UFC executives or, trainers in there to understand, to really analyze the cut to see how bad it is. Now, Sean O'Malley was incredibly disappointed after this thing happened because he just doesn't want Merab to pull out with the fight. Now, who would fight Sean O'Malley if Merab pulled out? That's a great question because I have no idea who would do so. We got Umar Nurmagomedov, who, just fought Corey Sandhagen on August 3rd, but he definitely won't be ready for a fight. I guess you could do Corey Sandhagen, but he just lost, so that wouldn't be a good fight analysis. Merab Dvalishvilli is the only option right now, and I think that him staying in this fight is what the UFC needs and what Merab needs, but Merab is doing everything currently to cost him his title shot. Ultimately, Merab Dvalishvilli just has to keep calm, keep low, and just understand that he is in one of the greatest opportunities in UFC history. He is fighting on the biggest card, the most paid promoted card in UFC history at UFC 306 in the Las Vegas Sphere. As Dana White said, this card is going to be a once in a lifetime experience that the UFC will never travel back to the UFC Sphere again. They're doing a whole UFC Noche, UFC Mexico presentation through the fights. They're doing less fights than normal because they're incorporating other parts into the Sphere and into the UFC event, like the history of Mexican mixed martial arts. But Merab Dvalishvilli has the honor of headlining this event, and he is almost costing him a spot by posting this cut on Instagram, to where Dana White has to take into account how serious it is to ultimately possibly pull Merab for the fight. I don't think the fight's going to be in jeopardy. It's just something stupid that Merab Dvalishvilli just did. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA, and please let me know what you think down below about Merab posting his cut on Twitter or Instagram or whatever the social media platform was, and Sean O'Malley's reaction that he does not want Merab to pull out of this fight, because truly, this is one of the biggest opportunities any single fighter could get in their career, and since Merab has been calling for a title shot for so very long, I think that this is the fight to be made in the bantamweight division. Now, the only thing is Merab just has to get there. We all know in the UFC pre-fights, he was climbing trees, hanging on the side of cliffs, doing stuff that not any title challenger should do. You should really wrap yourself in bubble wrap just to make sure that you get to the fight safely. But Merab isn't that guy, we all know that Merab is a crazy human being, and he is hungry to capture this title. If you guys enjoy the UFC content, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. That is the best way to help the channel grow. Also, while you're down there, turn on the post notifications. That would be absolutely amazing, just so you guys don't miss content. And we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so please help the channel get there very, very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA, and I will catch you guys very soon with more UFC content and news.